second attempt at video. Now that this is melted off, I can see that, yeah, pretty much all the planking and all the cross pieces are toast. So that'll just be a basic assumption. One of the things that I mentioned, I don't know if it was clear, but this railing is in pretty good shape. It's pretty solid. So I was thinking of doing is, we're going to put that 6x8 along the outside end and screw each cross plank to it to provide some rigidity. We'll just take this off and flip it over to the side that doesn't have any water and UV damage. Just reuse it. That'll make the railing a little bit taller. And most of those look to be in pretty good shape. So, get underneath here, a couple things that I've been calling longitudinal beams. I want to make sure we're on the same page. Hang on, I got to put this down while I negotiate the ice. If you hear some screaming, and suddenly you're looking at the sky, that's me falling down this hill. Alright, one of the things I wanted to do is kind of dig back in here a little bit just to see what kind of condition the end of the rail car is in. So no danger of going anywhere. That'd be just a good idea while I'm in here working to see what we got going on. These spacers right here, they're made out of steel. These spacers, I gotta remember to point the camera at what I'm looking at. So I don't suppose those are going anywhere. This stuff, it looks like what they did was, this thing is just a nailer. It doesn't really provide that much structural rigidity, but it'd be a nice thing to have out here. As you can hear, this is pretty solid as well. There's a few soft spots right around where the cracks and the spaces between the cross planks are. And this stuff under here is really soft. All this little 3/4 inch spacer that they put in here, that stuff's all really spongy. And what's going on there, and you probably already know this, but just so you know, I know. The steel on the rail car actually is that much taller than this part here. So they bolted this on here to have something to nail the cross planks to, and then put those spacers in there probably to make up the gap that they might have had to leave. And I can see why something hard to do, because if you look down the rail car here, there's especially in this lip, there's an awful lot of up and down stuff going on. So there's going to be some rot probably on the back side of this, and maybe along here. So what I would do is every foot or so I'd drill a hole down an angle and shoot in some copper coat there. And then once I get this pulled off, there's probably going to be some spot rot in between here and here. It's just a perfect environment for spores and stuff to set in there and start eating away at the wood. But that can be recovered using penetrating epoxies and stuff like that. So I think this piece is savable. I don't think we'll have to replace that. Maybe as I go, I find a really bad spot, I might put in 3 or 4 feet of it. But on a wholesale basis, I don't think so. When I get these planks off and I've got a clear shot down the back side, I'll just pump that crack full of copper coat, and that'll kill off and arrest any rot that's going on in there. And even once the bridge is built and the longitudinal planks are screwed down, the bridge really isn't going anywhere anyway. So if this stuff rots away over time, I wouldn't be overly concerned with it. Still, trying to get the Fastenal rep to come out here and take a look at this and see if he's got a fastener that I can go through. I mentioned the self-drilling, self-tapping fasteners. I've used those before to redeck like a lowboy heavy equipment trailers, but I don't know if he's got anything that's going to drill and tap through 1/4 inch of steel, so I want him to have a look at it. And that's just kind of my impressions here on the outside. Maybe try to clean up some of this mess with the wiring as I'm going along. I gotta work my way down under here. This, by the way, was not what I was talking about when I spoke of longitudinal beams. Ow! Just as we were talking about on the John Minter, I banged my head. Note to self, wear a hard hat while under the bridge. Now the first, here where the trucks go, you've got solid steel, so I'd like to have those self-tapping Fastenal screws to do that part of it, if it'll work. If not, I just have to drill and use bolts. But what I'm talking about, when I say longitudinal beams, it's these things. And these have obviously been there forever. They're just, make sure I get the camera pointed at what I wanted to say. These are just, you can just bury the hammer into this stuff.